Well, on behalf of our wonderful members across the volunteer state, the Tennessee Healthcare Association and Tennessee Center for Assisted Living Facilities, it is an honor to welcome you all to our beautiful city of Nashville for the 67th Annual AHCA NCAL Convention and Expo. It's been 8 years since we've been at AHCA. It's last held their convention here, and we're truly thrilled to welcome all of our colleagues from all across the country back to our great city. Over the next few days, we have a terrific and jam-packed program for people to dive into. And while I know everybody's eager to do all those things and all the other things that you do when you come to gatherings like this, I hope everybody has the chance to experience what Nashville has to offer and have a little bit of fun while you're here. Everyone knows that the Grand Ole Opry's here and the Country Music Hall of Fame, but the Music City's not just named for that. If you virtually like any kind of live music, you can find it somewhere in the city of Nashville. And our restaurant scene, it's really boomed over the last several years, and so you'll find plenty of opportunities to have dinner and eat some of the best food anywhere in the country. We have museums, art galleries, parks, sightseeing tours, and if you were here over the weekend, you had an opportunity to go to an Adele concert or a Predators game or even a Titans game. Sorry if there's any Browns fans out there. But, you know, we've kind of went through our tough times as well, so it's always good to get a win. And, of course, if you don't want to venture out, there's plenty of things to do right here at the Gaylord Opryland Resort. It's kind of like a city unto itself. So no matter whether you stay here or you venture out, I hope that you have a great experience while you're here in Tennessee. And over the course of the convention, if you see me, please come up and say hi. It's always great to come together as a profession and have a chance to talk about long-term care with people from all over the country. But I can also tell you where some of my favorite places to eat are, if you'd like to. A couple of things I can't do is I probably can't give you directions to find your room or a car if you happen to park it in the parking lot. Other than that, I'd be happy to help you any way I can. Hope everybody has a great convention, and welcome to Nashville.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the chair of the American Healthcare Association, Tom Coble.
Good morning. Thank you, Jesse, for that warm Tennessee welcome. And thank you all for coming to Nashville and joining us here this week. No matter where you've come from, we're so glad you came. Each year our goal for this event is simple: to make this week the pivotal gathering of long-term and post-acute care professionals. We celebrate our victories over the past year, and we learn from each other, work together, build camaraderie, and ultimately strengthen our profession. Convention would not be possible without the many dedicated individuals within the AHCA and NCAL. They work tirelessly behind the scenes, day in and day out. From past and present leaders on the AHCA and NCAL boards to committee chairs, state affiliates, facility members, and to our vendors and sponsors. Thank you. We are here this week because of you. We also collaborate with some fantastic organizations, many of which are here with us this week. It's truly an honor to work with you. Each year, we recognize the dedicated professionals who help improve the lives of our nation's seniors and individuals with disabilities. These organizations provide the tools and resources we rely on to help us do our jobs every day. This year's 4 top executive leadership partners have made generous contributions that help our association achieve annual goals. We would not be here today without them. I invite representatives from each of these organizations to join me on stage and be recognized. Seema De La Fraise, Vice President, Sales and Marketing, North America, First Quality. Sean Scott, Senior Vice President, Medline Industries. Angelo Papatheodoro, Senior Vice President of Sales, Point Click Care. And Pete McDowell, Vice President, Independent Sales, Direct Supplies. Please join me in thanking our 4 top executive leadership partners. Please join me in a round of applause for all of our executive leadership partners. This year's Expo Hall offers each of us an opportunity to speak with experts and discover new tools to deliver care to the residents and patients we serve. I would like to personally welcome back exhibiting partners and thank the more than 100 new exhibiting companies supporting our profession at convention. Please take time to meet with all our partners in Expo Hall today and tomorrow. Now I'd like to ask Sima to return to the stage for a moment. It was 17 years ago that First Quality first signed on as our trusted convention partner, and they have been with us ever since. As we have take the time to recognize those that help make convention possible, I want to recognize First Quality, a loyal partner, and once again, the official sponsor of this year's convention. So please join me in thanking First Quality as we present Sima Delafraise with a special token of our gratitude.
Thank you, Tom. We're excited to be here with you in Music City and this year's AHCA NCAL Annual Convention and Expo. Nashville's downtown is famous for Honky Tonk Row, where you can hear live music from morning until all hours of the night. But looking out at this crowd, I'm sure this crowd doesn't know anything about that. With all seriousness, this is going to be a spectacular week. And as the makers of Prevail, First Quality is proud to be a sponsor of this year's convention again. It is our honor to be alongside our customers during these challenging times. Together, we're in pursuit of a common goal: continuing to increase quality care outcomes, improving resident experience, and advancing patient-centered care. And this week, we will work together, and we will do what it takes to move forward no matter what. I'm particularly excited that we're also going to celebrate the Outstanding National Quality Award recipients. Congratulations to the 540 centers achieving the Bronze Award and to the 75 centers that have continued their commitment of continuous quality improvement with Silver and Gold Awards. We are honored to be a sponsor of National Quality Awards again this year. And on behalf of the entire First Quality family, we thank each of you and your talented teams for the continued dedication to quality. Please enjoy the conference, celebrate your successes, and on behalf of First Quality, we thank you and honor you for the work that you do. And we look forward to spending this week with each and every one of you. Thank you.
The reality is not everybody really understands what it is that our members do and the difference they make in people's lives.
More than anything else, I think we are guided by our regulations. Most of our patients probably have at least 12 meds. You know, they have antihypertensives, they have something for cardiac disease. There are so many comorbidities. The nursing staff in a SNF needs to be like a med-surg nurse was 10 or 15 years ago.
We know from CMS that the payment drives the care. You know, CMS changes from fee-for-service to a PPS, all of a sudden we shift how we provide care. You know, instead of constantly saying to the government, don't take this from us, don't take this from us, come to the table with a real plan. We're the experts in this. We do this better and we know this industry better than anyone else. We shouldn't be letting others tell us how to do it because they're not going to get it right.
So much of what we're doing these days, we're dealing with massive regulations, we're dealing with all new payment models. We're trying to blend that between the various sectors of healthcare.
They see those 6 million Medicaid days and they see those 1.3 million Medicare days, but maybe they don't understand that behind every one of those days is a person providing care to a person in need.
We've had a scenario this year where we've had more change thrown at us than we've ever had in history. But at the end of the day, we got to keep fighting. And you fight each and every day to protect and care for the residents that you serve. And guess what? We're here in Washington doing the same thing. I know one thing is for sure, and that's that you're overburdened. And it's important that each of you show up and convey the message to your members of Congress to ensure that they respect and understand what we do.
The association is here every day in Washington, lobbying on our behalf. But I think whenever the legislators hear from us, it carries more weight. It's actually more grassroots. I think it has more meaning.
When I watch the posture in the faces of the congressional folk, and they start to hear the realities on the ground at the bedside of, in our case, of the Nebraskan that's giving the care, I'm telling you, it's making a difference.
The experience of coming to the congressional briefing, it wasn't just going to the Hill. It was a session beforehand, resonated to us that our story is important. And so you felt empowered.
I learned so much being here with my colleagues across the country that provide the same type of care, but in very different settings.
People really underestimate the innovation that's occurring in the post-acute setting. Truly cutting edge, life-changing, caregiving results are happening every day in a post-acute care setting. And taking a patient who had been determined by an acute care setting that they'd never eat again, a ventilator placed in them and sent to a skilled nursing facility. And we look at them and say, this isn't the end, this is just the beginning.
The work we do every single day is sacred work. And I am so passionate about ensuring that our congressional members really know this. It's one thing going in saying we need money. It's another going in to say that, you know, you've got some regulations that are affecting us. But they need to understand the importance of the care we provide.
Tell the story of our members, to tell of their important works, of their caregivers and the changes they make.
We are the connection from the hospital to their home. We get them better so that they can go home and go back to their life and live a full life.
People need to understand what our seniors are dealing with today. We are delivering quality care to our seniors, and we can prove our quality through our quality measures.
At the end of the day, our business is about people, and it's people serving people. We're here to make an impact, and we're finding solutions to get there.
We're stronger together.
You're counting on us, and we're here.
Together, we are the solution.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back the chair of AHCA, Tom Coble.
I'm excited to help kick off the 67th annual convention this morning. And again, thank you all for making the trip to Nashville. We have an amazing few days planned for everyone. To sum up the past year, my first as AHCA board chair, I can't help but think of a quote from the great American philosopher, Yogi Berra, who said, "When you come to a fork in the road, take it." We are no strangers to change in this profession. Many times it presents challenges. Oftentimes it presents opportunities. But no matter what change is, it's inevitable. And this past year has been no exception. When I was born in 1954, a wave of change was upon our country. The first mass inoculation of children against polio began. The U.S. Supreme Court unanimously ruled for school integration. And Dr. Joseph Murray led a team of surgeons in Boston in the first successful organ transplant. Think about how each one of these significantly impacted the course of our country. You may not know that prior to discovering my calling for long-term care in 1993, I worked in offshore natural gas delivery in the Gulf of Mexico. I had never worked in healthcare a day in my life, but then a friend and I acquired Elmbrook Home in Oklahoma, and the rest is history. Talk about change. I saw it as an opportunity. Everyone in this room understands the difficulty associated with making long-term care decisions for loved ones. Family is very important, and I've had as many as 6 family members at Elmbrook. This change presented me with the opportunity to provide care for not only my family, but also friends and neighbors within the community that I considered extended family. Many of you share that same sentiment. There are people in your buildings that you love, like parents, grandparents, and siblings. Your ability to care for them is directly impacted by changes in the profession. That is why AHCA has been working hard to make sure you have the resources, tools, and support you need to achieve success. We now stand at the intersection of quality and reimbursement. Both are areas in which the association has dedicated numerous efforts. I am sure you've heard this before, but I believe it bears repeating. It is vital to understand and be prepared for value-based purchasing. It's no longer the future, it's now our reality. October 1 of next year marks the start of value-based purchasing program under new federal law. Payments will be directly linked to our ability to address potential avoidable hospital admissions. High performers will be rewarded, and the lowest performers will be at risk for significantly lower payments. We cannot wait to prepare. More and more payers will begin to launch value-based purchasing programs. The best way to navigate those changes when they happen is through education and advocacy right now. Change has also brought us to the doorstep of integrating medical and social needs. Our centers are no longer places where we solely provide medical care. Instead, we are an indispensable resource in supporting the communities around us. We have developed a concept in Oklahoma known as a nursing home without walls. We are tearing down the barriers between our centers and local communities. We are providing directly to the aging population meal deliveries, wellness checkups, and other supports that are part of delivering quality care. I mentioned earlier that I cared for several of my relatives at Elmbrook. While I am proud that I've been able to do this, it makes me even happier that I can expand this support to the community that helped raise me. And we are doing just that through Nursing Home Without Walls. There are other changes facing our profession that I have not mentioned this morning. But no matter what, we can face them knowing that AHCA is working for us. The association continues to build relationships with CMS and ensure your voice is heard. We are taking your issues straight to the decision makers on Capitol Hill. We are dedicated to supporting you in the mission of improving lives by delivering solutions for quality care. Change is not easy, but it will happen. I leave you with this thought from John D. Rockefeller. I do not think that there is any other quality so essential to success of any kind as the quality of perseverance. It overcomes almost everything, even nature. Together, through perseverance, we can make the changes we want to see. Thank you very much.
Please welcome the chair of the National Center for Assisted Living, Chris Mason.
When assisted living first started in Oregon, it had 22 pages of regulations. It covered construction, development, and some operations. Today, it has 125 pages. I miss the good old days with 22 pages. But seriously, I'm excited with how far we've come. It indicates that assisted living is evolving and becoming an increasingly important part of the healthcare continuum. This kind of progress means greater responsibility and additional scrutiny. But there's a misconception that only the advocates for our seniors and individuals with disabilities are the regulators. There's more than 3,000 advocates sitting in this room right now. We know working in long-term care is not for the faint of heart, or for those just looking to make an easy buck. For us, it's more than a job. It certainly is for me. When I was 16, I witnessed my grandfather, my hero, pass away in a long-term care facility. I remember he died 3 weeks before I received my Eagle Scout. It fueled my passion to work in healthcare. I wanted to make a difference. I started out as a CNA working the graveyard shift in a nursing center while I completed my undergrad in Vermont. And since then, more than 30 years ago, I've been a sponge, soaking up all the knowledge and experience I've been fortunate enough to explore. I rose through the ranks because I aspired to make a greater impact on our residents. I now own senior housing managers with assisted living communities in Washington, Oregon, and Arkansas. I went back to school, earned 2 master's degrees, including my MBA. That was when I first garnered an interest in how data could help improve healthcare. I founded a software company that helps providers figure out how to have the right people with the right skills in the right place at the right time. Now I'm currently seeking 2 PhDs, one in theology and the other in business administration, with a focus in management and ethics. Say that 5 times real fast. Why, you may ask? Because I'm a nerd. I admit it. I wear my #DataNerd ribbon proudly. Actually, I want to go to school for the rest of my life. Henry Ford once said, anyone who stops learning is old, whether at 20 or 80. Anyone who keeps learning stays young. The greatest thing in life is to keep your mind young. So maybe I'm trying to avoid getting older. But honestly, I believe it's because we work in a profession where we have to keep learning. In my first assisted living community in Oregon, when the profession was just starting, our residents averaged 1.7 ADLs. Today, that average is closer to 9. What began as a social model with a medical conscience, in many states is now a medical model with a social conscience. And what's beautiful about assisted living is that not all of you may agree with me right now. Your assisted living communities may still be focused on the social model, and that's okay. But regardless, our world is changing, and we have to change with it. We have to stay ahead of it. By integrating more technology, by partnering with other healthcare providers, by better understanding the diseases like Alzheimer's our residents are living with. And that's why I'm so proud to be a member of NCAL and honored to serve as your chair. NCAL is committed to being at the forefront of identifying our challenges, offering solutions, and putting them into action. And at every board meeting, every strategic retreat, and every convention, I'm learning. learning from the multitudes of perspectives and approaches our association represents. And it's invigorating. It would be easy to say that those first days in Oregon with 22 pages of regulations and 1.7 ADLs were the good old days, when things were simpler. But I believe our best days are ahead. Not because hopefully this time next year you'll all have to call me Dr. Mason, but because long-term care professionals, our pursuit of knowledge and ability to adapt rivals the love for our residents. So stay young and enjoy these next 3 days in Nashville. Thank you for being here, and thank you for all you do. Blessings to all of you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Executive Director of the National Center for Assisted Living, Scott Tittle.
The bus stopped to nowhere. We all know why this works, right? The notion of getting up and going is meaningful. It instills a sense of purpose. It reduces fears and emboldens hope. Movement in itself is exciting and enticing. So it's not nowhere, right? It's somewhere. Forward. It's been a whirlwind these past 16 months at NCAL, and I'm continually amazed by the vast and rapid movement in assisted living. Whether learning about innovative programming or meeting with mission-driven organizations, I've witnessed how so many of you are advancing the cause in so many exciting ways. It's inspiring. Communities like the one you just saw are inspiring. It motivates us at NCAL to do what we do every day, to serve you so that you can continue to serve in your residence. We want to help you keep moving forward, to remain steady in that upward trajectory and fulfill your purpose. One of those ways we as a profession hope to move forward is by codifying the quality of care within our communities. We know it's happening, and in looking at what's coming down the pike for assisted living providers, we know quality metrics are what consumers are demanding, what governments are requiring, and what payers may soon be tracking. Today, I'm very proud to announce that we are expanding our assisted living footprint in our online tool, Long-Term Care Trend Tracker. So now you can demonstrate your quality commitment with reliable, consistent data. We've added 4 more assisted living measures to this exclusive member resource: hospital admissions, hospital readmissions, off-label use of antipsychotics, and occupancy rates. Combined with our previous trend tracker reports for assisted living, measuring staff turnover and retention, as well as customer satisfaction through our Core Q questionnaire, communities can now track all of their quality initiative progress in one convenient place. But what really sets Trend Tracker apart from other platforms is that you're now able to compare your progress to other assisted living providers. Because while quality improvement is unique to every community, and the entire profession and every company can benefit from measuring ourselves beyond our own silos. That's how we move forward in our quality journey. As the old Vince Lombardi line goes, if you're not keeping score, you're just practicing. Another area where we are proving our commitment to the quality journey is through our Quality Rewards program. In 2016, more assisted living facilities and members than ever before applied for the Quality Award and received one. I'm very excited to celebrate these incredible communities and all of our recipients here at tomorrow's ceremony. And now that we've expanded Trend Tracker for assisted living, we hope to see even more of you up on this stage next year. As a member recently told me, we are light years ahead on quality, and we'll continue to make strides, thanks to our collective membership that made quality a priority before it was ever dictated by a government body. Because you all know what it takes. You know who your residents are, what they need, better than any bureaucrat in Washington. In assisted living, we're fortunate to have a state regulatory system that is better equipped to encourage provider ingenuity, put forth tactical reforms, and honor person-centered care. And we will continue to fight to maintain this system, not to prevent progress, but to ensure it. Assisted living is making a real difference for seniors. It's an ever-growing part of the long-term care continuum. But as our profession gains recognition and attention, we can easily predict that federal policymakers very well may take notice. As an old friend of mine used to say, dogs don't bark at parked cars. When you think about your future, who do you want writing it? Now, speaking of the future, my daughter Holland is 6, and she's at that age where she's hearing a lot of things about the election, at school and at home, and like all of us, she's just trying to keep up. And just a few weeks ago, she asked my wife, "Mommy, Who do we want to be president, Donald Trump or Harry Potter? Now, given this unprecedented election, Harry Potter might be a very interesting writing candidate for many of you. I mean, just imagine the birther movement, right? So, finally something all these candidates can agree on. While much of America is certainly frustrated with the current state of affairs, we can't forget that all of our elected officials matter. They or with their staff will certainly have a family member or a resident or a close one in an assisted living center someday. And we can't wait until a misconstrued bill or a contradicting rule has been introduced to take action. We must tell our story and build relationships with those who can influence our profession now. And many of you have, through political events, tours of your communities, or meetings up on the Hill. Our message is getting out, but we must continue to beat that drum. Because progress is never easy. It has its ups and downs, its forks in the road. The road ahead for assisted living may have its challenges, but it also has many more opportunities. We only have one gear in assisted living, and that's forward. So let's forge ahead, seize these opportunities, not in isolation but together, dedicated to emboldening lives and hope and improving our residents' lives. Thank you for trusting NCAL to serve you, and let's have a great week here together in Nashville. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President and CEO of AHCA NCAL, Mark Parkinson.
Well, good morning, everybody. You know, it's hard to believe, but it's been 6 years ago that I was introduced at Long Beach as the new CEO. It's gone by really quickly. I've loved it. I feel very honored to do it. You know, I think some people were excited back when I was announced, not so much because I was a former governor, but because Stacy and I were one of you. Stacy and I really did build and own and operate and work every single day in our assisted living facilities and skilled nursing facilities. And we talked about that at Long Beach 6 years ago. But what I didn't tell you then that I'm more comfortable in telling you now is that when we opened up our first assisted living facility, we had no idea what we were getting into. We really didn't. We didn't have a family background in it. Let me just explain. We opened up our first facility in September of 1996. We were busy. We had kids that were 7, 4, and 1 when we opened up our first building. We both worked at the law firm that we had started 10 years earlier. We worked 50 or 60 hours a week. I was also in the Kansas State Senate, and we were involved in all sorts of community activities. We thought that we would be able to continue to do all those things, and that we would build this just one assisted living facility. It'd be kind of off to the side. You know, we'd check on it every once in a while, make sure it was doing okay. It would be a hobby. Well, I think back and wonder, how could we have been so naive as to think that an assisted living facility would run itself? And I'm convinced it's because we didn't understand the type of people that live in our buildings. We believe the ads that some of you run. You know those ads that have active seniors? Well, let me show you what I'm talking about. This is who we thought would live in our building. And if you look closely at the guy on the bicycle, I'm pretty sure he's younger than I am right now. And I love the guy coming off the golf course. Yeah, hey, let's have a cocktail. Well, we learned very quickly that these people exist, but they don't live in our buildings. Back in 1996, assisted living was pretty new, and so you would almost fill up your building when you opened it. And I remember the very first day, we learned that our residents were much older and much frailer than we anticipated. 1 week after we opened up the first building, Stacy quit practicing law and moved over to Mission Springs, and she never looked back. I couldn't quit practicing law. We needed the income. So I would work at the law firm, but drive up after the work was over, and I would work at the law firm in the evenings and on the weekends. There was a specific day that I became very aware that we had our hands full, and that day was October 22nd of 1996. Now let me explain. We'd been open for a month. I was working at the law firm. It got late in the day, so I left the law firm to drive up to the building, and as I was driving up, it started to snow. Now, it snows in Kansas City, but it snows in like December, January, February. It does not snow in October. At first, I thought it was really cool because the leaves were still on the trees. They were, turning beautiful, the snow behind it. I thought it was great. I get up to the building, it's still snowing. And it snows, and it snows, and it snows. And this is an article that appeared in the Kansas City Star the next morning. It snowed everywhere. It shut down the city. And the inevitable happened because the snow would get on the leaves of the trees. Power was going out all over the city. I got to the building about 5:15, and I was way too lazy. We still had power. I got in the elevator to go from the first to the second floor, too lazy to walk up one story. And lo and behold, we lost our power, and I was stuck in the elevator. Now, the phones that are in the elevators, those actually work. I learned that day. Pick up the phone, I call Stacy, she's in the office downstairs. I tell her I'm stuck, and she says, our power's out. I said, great, just try to get me out of the elevator. Somehow she gets it, the elevator goes down. I walk up on the first floor. Our residents, many of whom were confused even before the power went out, are almost all confused now. They're kind of wandering around. There's no leadership. There's no power in the building. It's getting dark outside. And we have a gentleman that's laying down, a resident, on a couch in the front area. He's almost as tall as I am, and he had a very deep baritone voice, and he was saying over and over and over, we are doomed. We are doomed. We are doomed. And I stood there and I thought, oh my God, I've ruined our perfect little life. We are doomed. Well, about 10 minutes later, a very good thing happened, and that is that our partner showed up. Now, the one smart thing that we did is we had a partner named Shirley Allenbrand, and Shirley had run facilities before. So she came in and she said, Mark, give me a status report. I said, okay, let me give this to you very briefly. We're doomed. Yeah. She said, we're not doomed. These people are counting on us, and tonight's going to be the best night that we've ever had at Mission Springs. I said, okay, sure. What do I need to do? She said, go downstairs and get the candles that are in the storage. So I walked down to the basement. I walked back up with the candles. By then, she's already got the CNAs organized. They're bringing people from the second floor down the stairs to the first floor. They're getting the table set up in the dining room, and she announces that tonight we're going to have the best night that we've ever had. We're going to have a romantic candlelight dinner. And so we set it up. We lit the candles. Somebody had a boom box with a battery. We played the music. And lo and behold, we may have had the best night that we've ever had at Mission Springs. Now, I tell you that story not to demonstrate my incompetence. There are plenty of stories for that. But instead, because I think it's a metaphor for where the sector is right now. If you think about all of the things that we're going through, it would be easy to conclude that we're doomed right now. CMPs, the new requirements for participation, bad press, tort liability, and all of those other things that are out there, it would be easy to say that we're doomed. Well, I'm here to tell you that we're not doomed. That if we pull together and we do the right things, we can make this through this and be stronger than ever. Let me give you a few pieces of good news to dwell on. Piece of good news number one, we're more united than we've ever been before. When AHCA and the Alliance merged 3 years ago, we brought together the two major political forces on our sector in DC, and we haven't looked back. We've gotten bigger. We now represent over 13,400 buildings, and more important than being bigger, we now have a unified voice. As a result of that, the results that we've had on Capitol Hill have been much better the last 4 or 5 years, where we've essentially gotten our way on every major issue. We have a seat at the table. And even at CMS, where I know it's been frustrating, the fact that we're large and all came together and submitted 9,800 comments to the requirements of participation, we made the rule better. Good piece of news number two, the aging of the population is finally starting to help us. Now, for as long as I've been at this work, people have been saying, oh, you're so smart to be doing this because everybody's getting old. It didn't help us 20 years ago when people were turning 55 and 60 and 65. But as we approach the year 2020, finally the aging of the population will help us. The wind will be at our back. The oldest boomers will turn 75, and even in the important age 80 to 84 category, there will be millions more of those people as we move along. And probably the most important piece of good news and why I'm so confident in our future is that the work that you are doing in your buildings is absolutely amazing. When I sit back and think about our reimbursement, I mean, oftentimes we are paid per day less than it costs to stay in a 3-star hotel. And yet you do all of the work that you do despite that. And this isn't just some subjective opinion from a CEO. we have the numbers to back this up. Over 5,000 of you have received Baldrige-based quality awards. We've had a decrease in deficiencies nationwide. We've successfully met the goals of the quality initiative, and in the important area of rehospitalizations, we have seen a dramatic reduction. So while it may seem like we are doomed, and why it's very possible that it's never been harder to do what we do, I will tell you there is a path to success. We have to continue to stay unified. Those of you that get tempted from time to peel off your state association because one or two things don't go right, we can't do that. We've got to stay together. Secondly, we've got to stay politically strong. It may not be right, but it's what the system requires, and we've got to continue to be politically active. And finally, and perhaps more important, we've got to continue to do the work that you are doing in your buildings. So, we have a basic choice. We can do what I did 20 years ago and just stand there and say we're doomed and not do anything, or we can pull together and work hard and win this battle. It is important that we do the latter. In many professions, people can quit and it doesn't really make any difference. We don't have that luxury. Millions of people every year live in our buildings and they are counting on us. They are supported by caregivers that are also in the millions that are counting on us. And of course, we employ millions of people that are counting on us. Just think about that, millions of people that are counting on us to win. Sometimes when you hear big numbers like that, it's hard to really put a face to it. So we've put together a very short video just to remind ourselves of the type of people that are counting on us. If we could run the video now, that would be great.
I've gotten better faster with quality care, and I'm counting on you.
We're working hard for our patients and residents every day. I'm counting on you.
I'm counting on you.
I'm counting on you.
I'm trying to make this a home away from home, and I'm counting on you.
I'm counting on you.
We're counting on you.
I'm here to get better, and I'm counting on you.
I'm counting on you.
I'm counting on you.
I'm here to restore your quality of life, and I'm counting on you.
I'm counting on you.
So I know we have a huge challenge, but we also, thank you. I know we have a huge challenge. It's never been harder to operate. All these rules and everything is coming down. We know it's a burden, and believe me, and you'll be hearing about it throughout the conference, we are really committed, whether it's requirements of participation or all of the other things that are coming down, we're committed to providing you the tools to make it just a little bit easier. That's our challenge. But the opportunity's never been greater either. The millions of people that are counting on us need our help, and when we win, we will literally improve their lives. I'm inspired by some of the videos that we've seen earlier today. I'm inspired when I tour your facilities and I see the care that CNAs are providing to the residents. I was inspired at the NCAL lunch yesterday when we heard the stories of the award winners, just unbelievably inspiring. We're going to hear stories like that throughout the week. And what all of it reminds me is that when we are in a battle, but in this battle, our cause is just, our motives are pure, and our passion is endless. Together, we will win this. And we thank you so much for your support and hope that you have a great week here in Nashville. Thank you all very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back the chair of AHCA, Tom Coble.
Thank you, Mark. We've recognized a lot of our event sponsors this morning, but one remains. Thanks to their support, we are able to bring fantastic people such as our speaker today to convention. To demonstrate our gratitude, please join me in welcoming Joan Elizik from McKesson.
Tom. Good morning. I'm Joan Elizik, and I'm honored to be here with you today. On behalf of the entire team at McKesson, I thank AHCA for its continued leadership and advocacy of the long-term care industry. I know the environment can be challenging, but the services that this membership provides and the compassion of the people within it are invaluable to our aging nation. With McKesson as your partner, we help you embrace and thrive in this changing healthcare landscape through better distribution efficiency, quality, and accuracy. We also take it further by providing solutions and tools to help you run your businesses more effectively and better serve your patients. We invite you to join us in our booth for presentations from healthcare experts and a live graphic discussion wall that will be created with your input. Help us celebrate the exceptional care you deliver for your patients every day with our social media contest, #IDeliverCareFor. And come see us at our hospitality hop tomorrow evening. We look forward to meeting with many of you throughout this week.